A major Chinese automaker who often and repeatedly compares themselves to Tesla is making a couple of major moves. Xpeng Motors, which is typically compared to Tesla, as it also competes in the premium vehicle market, just announced their new Mona model with a price of just $16,800 that is more than half the price of a Tesla Model 3. And in a second announcement, Xiaopeng is now scouting sites for a factory in Europe so they can get around the new import tax that the EU just slapped on Chinese cars. And on a separate topic, there's a new report that more and more Chinese automakers are now copying Tesla in insourcing more electric vehicle parts. Tesla paved the way, showing the significant advantages there are when you make your own parts instead of buying them from suppliers. We got Brian White here with us. He's got his own YouTube channel, FutureAza. Thank you so much, Brian.
Yeah, this whole Xiaopeng thing is pretty interesting to watch, and it's and of course the second topic, all about how companies are following Tesla's lead, is something I think you and I have quite a bit of experience following.
Yeah, Xiaopeng is a good company, a good Chinese automaker. They're making very nice cars. They're doing fairly well, I think. I actually haven't looked closely into how they're doing, but I know the brand is well received. They just launched a brand new car recently, and it had very good first month sale. But this is a new car that they've announced. Xiaopeng launched this Mona M03. I love that it's called M3, Model 3, copying as much as you can.
Well, they just moved the decimal.
We'll put a zero there. In China at over half the price of a Model 3. So they're very good at creating lower cost models. Whether or not it compares, we'll see. But the Model Y is still the number one selling vehicle in China. It's going through the roof. Model 3 in China is not doing as well as people have predicted, but it's still doing very well. Here you got a competitor. Now, we've heard this over and over and over again. We've got companies saying we are the next Tesla because, of course, it makes sense for you to compare yourself to Tesla as much as you can. Xiaopeng is one of those that is often compared and often says that they are like Tesla. This is their car. I'll show you videos of that as we're talking. So they announced this AI-centric BEV. They're really positioning themselves as much as they can like Tesla, where it's, they're trying to get into the full self-driving and got a technology in it. And they call themselves, we're going to gun for Tesla in China. After officially launching its first Mona model, in China today, Xiaopeng is coming out with guns a-blazing. A starting price of $16,815. That's over half the price of a Model 3. And it's got huge orders out of the gate. So beginning, busy but exciting journey for Xpeng Motors. So they initially described as a new all-electric sub-brand under the Xpeng umbrella, this Mona, and has since evolved into a portfolio of AI-powered models. This is their first flagship. So this initial model debuted in July last month. And, what is this? This initial model, they might have another model. Yeah, 27,500 earlier that month. Shared that the M3 had begun mass production in China before a scheduled launch event. And a product poster soon surfaced, revealed that would debut at a starting price significantly lower than initially promised. There you go. So when they first announced it was supposed to be 27,500. Now it's only 19,000. Today, however, it's a price again with pre-orders at even lower starting price. So I'll share videos of this while you can kind of tell me more what you think.
Absolutely. So that price reduction is suspicious. It tells me that they went from saying we're going to make a narrow margin to we're going to lose quite a bit of money on this car. But it's what they feel they have to do to get out in the market. We saw the same thing with Xiaomi. They were planning to release the car at a high price, and then they decided, you know what? No, if we're going to beat Tesla, we got to undercut them, which is what they did. So that's difficult. Model 3 sales in China have been sluggish, but that's because everyone said they wanted a sedan, and yet no one buys it. When they've got the choice between the Model 3 and the Model Y, most buyers prefer the space of a Model Y. That's why crossover SUV form factor is so much more successful in most markets, certainly the big markets. That's why there are 4 factories making Model Y, while only 2 make Model 3. And with the Model 3 refresh, with the Highland refresh, I was just sure we would see sales explode. And they just didn't, because for a lot of people, especially people I've talked to, they say, I just like the ease of getting in and out of a Model Y compared to a Model 3. So this will be, I'm confident that these will have great initial sales, but they are not a big cash producing company. So I'm not convinced that they're going to be able to sustain those kinds of prices, because that is very cheap. That is very cheap for a car that looks to be, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
I've
is
seen
interesting
some
because they initially announced it as
inconsistencies. I've seen,
27,000.
yeah.
Yeah, and then they brought it down. It almost seems like they brought it down. Like when you take a price from 27 to 19,000, it's almost like a marketing play at this point. Like let's really shock everybody, and then they'll, this is just the launch model, and then they'll raise the prices later, right?
Yes. Now, looking at that, I did see some inconsistencies in the interior. The seats weren't quite lined up. It doesn't matter. That's a pre-production model,
Yeah.
or at the very worst, an extremely early low VIN. But that might not even be one that they are intending to sell. So I would overlook all of that and wait for the actual reviews from owners to make a decision.
It looks exactly like the Model 3.
Sure
They've
does.
copied it to the T of the Tesla, to the M3.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's exactly. Look, the steering wheel's
Even
exactly.
the scroll wheels.
Yeah. Oh, God, it's hilarious. I mean, why not, right? That's a smart thing to do. Copy
Follow the
what
leader.
works. Yeah,
Follow
what's
the
working.
leader. Well, and we're going to be talking about this, but there's a lot of things that Tesla has done that were first in the industry. A large horizontal screen had not been done before.
Yeah.
The idea of other brands are starting to consider getting rid of their stocks, but even look at the architecture itself. Tesla was the first company to put the batteries under the floor. Now it is standard practice. They were the first to do gigacastings. And now, as Luca Greco on X will tell you, because he is the Jordan Giesecke of castings, he will tell you virtually every manufacturer is either actively installing them or has some on order. And sometimes he'll get inside information that he's not allowed to share, but he will tell us that I found out that there are 2 more companies, very big ones, that are ordering these machines. Doesn't tell us which ones, but process of elimination, there's only a handful left that don't either have them or have them on order. So it is a follow the leader game. Tesla really is pushing the industry forward.
Yeah. Look at that, eh? I was just looking at the front dash, what it has the air vents across, right there at the top there. It's exactly the same. Very, very cool. So that was the M3. This is, I don't know, the head of the intelligence experience. So they're trying to create their version of AI, Model 3. I mean, it looks great. This is, I think, the premium version of their car. That's what I accidentally showed earlier here. This one here. This is.
Well, and I don't know what an AI
version.
car is. I don't know why you would need or want an AI car, but AI is the big buzzword. Yeah, it's the big buzzword. When I was at CES this year.
Look at that. It's exactly Tesla. This is a complete copy of Tesla.
Well, I'll tell you, they do have a hatchback instead of a trunk. And I know a lot of people prefer a hatchback because you can get more cargo in more easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, at CES, everybody had AI in their name, even if their company did nothing of the sort.
Looks great. Look at it. I mean, It looks pretty nice looking. They did a good job. They did a good job copying. So that's the G6. Okay, so let's just take a look a little bit more of what the Mona M3. So they had 10,000 orders in the first 52 minutes, right? The M3 arrives in 3 separate trims. So you got the 16,815, the 18,200, and 21,000 respectively. The 3 variants refer to each of their range kilometers, and the max signifies the addition of smart driving ADAS capability.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, would you buy a car today that doesn't have any smart driver assist?
Well, if you need to bring the price down, so that can be an added feature later. You can buy it later, but not at the start, not at the front, not at the beginning, at launch. It was designed to honor the Tesla Model 3. like that.
To
We're going to honor the Tesla Model 3.
Yeah, Herbert, I was trying to
Honor you.
I was trying to honor your wallet by picking it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, still, I mean, obviously, they're just being straightforward. This is it.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if they can attach their name to Tesla, they've done a great, that's what their strategy is. If you are Pepsi, if you're not Coke, if you're any other beverage, you want to always compare yourself to Coke. But if you're Coke, you do not talk about your competitors at all.
Yes, so, but the you run the risk of being considered the poor man's Tesla, or the we don't have Coke, is Pepsi all right? And that's where I think they're going to end up. It appears to be a nice car. I will spend some time looking for real customer YouTube
feedback.
reviews.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
So this is how fast it goes, 7.8 seconds. So it seems a little slow, 7.4 seconds, single motor. So, that's how they kept the price down. Affordable trims. We'll see how this compares, not to the Model 3, right? Wait till see what happens with the new affordable Tesla models. We'll see how they reduce price. You saw what they did and Tesla did with Mexico. They kind of reduced the trims a little bit, a few less features, and they reduced that price by $3,000 US dollars. So it's going to begin deliveries in September. Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because all these poor engineers, all these poor designers and manufacturing experts have been benchmarking the Model 3 and Y. And first of all, those cars are now gone. One's already been refreshed. The other refresh is imminent. And those aren't even the new technology. Those aren't even the new thing. So they could find themselves 6 months from now going, oh no, now we have to compete with whatever was announced on October 10th.
Exactly. And then, of course, as Elon's been saying, yes, there's going to be many EV competitors. That's why we need to do full self-driving. If you don't have full self-driving, doesn't matter if you're just creating the old horse and carriage and you beat us in that game. So the next thing is Xiao Pang has announced, or they're apparently scouting production sites in Europe. They're looking for factories to build in Europe because they want to circumvent the tariffs that the EU just slapped onto Chinese EVs. We've reported on that just very recently. So here's a photo of the map, Europe, and looks like that these are the places. It is a little interesting that they're going after these locations. I don't know. Obviously, there's so many of them. We don't, they covered up where exactly, but it doesn't seem like the right places,
It's, yes, the advantage you get in like Germany or France is that they have a long history of making cars. The reason I'm concerned about Xiaopeng opening a factory in Europe is that they can't afford it. They've only got $2.5 billion cash on hand. That fluctuates between $2.5 and $3.5 billion depending on the quarter, and that's not a lot of headroom. Once you get under about $1 billion, your creditors start wanting to restrict your access to cash. They start looking for the exits, and then the share price goes into a death spiral. Can't have that. So could they raise more money to build factories? I think they absolutely could. I think the value proposition to a new investor would be quite plain and strong at that point, and that they would be able to raise more capital. But right now, they just don't have it.
So Xpeng Motors, it was founded in 2014. The guy's name is Xiao Pang, and the founder and CEO, he came from Alibaba, which is Chinese version of Amazon. And so it's the latest Chinese automaker looking to bring localized EV production to Europe. We've already covered several times already BYD building a factory in Hungary. And so during a recent interview, Xiao Pang founder said that the company is exploring potential sites in EU to set up a local production there. So you're saying they may not have money. So EU just imposed these tariffs. Which currently go as high as 36%. So Xiaopeng is facing a 21% tariff, which is a lot lower. So this is based on the EU kind of took a look at which companies are being subsidized by the Chinese government. So if you're China owned, you got the highest at 36%. They're kind of in the middle. So 21%, and then that's on top of 10% that's already existing already. So they're leveraging their partnership with Volkswagen and looking to expand their vehicle production to a new site in Europe. So it looks like here BYD, Chery, and Zeekr have pushed forward in expanding sales in Europe and have begun establishing localized production. one of the BEV leaders in the country, NIO, is committed to new markets in Europe, regardless of any loss of profits due to the tariffs. So they're going to go and attack. They're going to go out there regardless. This is the family of vehicles that Xiaopeng has. Again, they look pretty good. You know, they look really nice.
And they've got one in each segment.
Yeah.
And that's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
No
I
truck,
haven't seen
but
the
they don't need a
minivan.
truck.
No, not as big of a seller outside of North America. I haven't seen their minivan. I've seen the Li Auto minivan, which I think is quite attractive. And that one, they were running into the same problems that a lot of van makers have, which is when they priced it at what it would actually cost, which was $70,000 US in China, they found the market said, no, thank you. So they dropped the price dramatically. And now I assume they're just losing a bunch of money and not selling very many.
They're all losing money. So this recent interview, right? They're going to bring local production, expecting to choose a region with relatively low labor risks, establishing a large-scale data center in the region. A software collection has become vital to studying EVs' intelligent driving features. So they're just all starting. At least they're copying, but they need to start. Increased tariffs will not deter these Chinese automakers from their global expansion plans, although the profit will be reduced. There is no profit. So it's like the profits will be reduced. There is no profits regardless.
The potential profits. Well, yes. You can just say the revenue will be reduced because that's what it is.
It's hilarious. Xiaopeng has already established a foothold in Denmark, France, Norway, Sweden, and Germany. They began testing their ADAS ahead of a full planned software. So that's that story. Any last comments on Xiaopeng?
I've never seen one in Europe. I've never seen anything. I've seen maybe one or two BYDs, and I've seen a whole lot of Teslas, but I have not. I don't remember. I may have seen a Polestar, but I don't think I've seen any Chinese made autos, electric cars in Europe apart from the Tesla Model 3. So I don't know. You know, they may have distribution channels, but what they do not have is market share.
Okay, next story. So it looks like that a lot of car makers are trying to copy Tesla. One of the things that Tesla has done very, very well, of course, is their cost reduction, and they make a lot of their own parts. They actually have a small supply chain that they outsource, and this is what's happening now. Car makers are copying Tesla. They're going to start insourcing more of the electrical vehicle parts here. So as the EV sector has grown, more and more automakers are looking to insource their own EV components. This trend could end up posing a challenge for suppliers that are looking to establish presence. But basically, S&P Global Mobility noted that parts from suppliers could account for about 60 to 70% of vehicles' typical value, but this could fall as companies decide to make their own electric motors, batteries, or in-vehicle software. So there are several suppliers that were hoping OEMs were not going to make their own electric motors, purchase them from them instead. But that's not been the case. So if you insource, there's a lot of advantages. Success of Tesla showed you that vertical integration can become a very important strategy. Again, something that Tesla knew ahead of time. And it's, you don't have to pay another supplier for that part. Don't have to have that margin tacked onto it. You can keep your costs down, you control, and you can be fully integrated. So Tesla gained a competitive advantage in the industry, build vehicles faster, fewer parts. Like the example is the Model Y's front fascia features 7 parts, requires 32 fasteners, 1 wire connection. A comparable vehicle built by a veteran automaker tends to have a fascia that has 28 parts.
Wow.
Instead of 7, 61 fasteners, double instead of 32, and 2 wire connections. So it's like double. Even more than double the cost and time. So the practice is gaining ground. Several Chinese automakers, such as BYD, they've already said they've already made attentions that they plan to insource more components. The industry has pivoted from this, which is like automakers, even particularly the American and European ones. People don't realize they're actually not automakers. They're auto assemblers. They take all these parts and they just connect together.
For the last 50 years, the big automakers have been outsourcing more and more of the component manufacturing, even the design. I told the story of the Hyundai engineer. I don't remember which one now, but they went to his department and said, can we do light shows? And the answer became no, because we would have to validate all the parts all the way back through the supply chain, which we have no control over. And we didn't do the engineering at all the levels to even know what's in it. So bringing those things in-house is difficult, but sending them out is easy and lazy. If you're going to prototype something, it's great to just grab stuff off the shelf and use it. If you're going to make your first electric car, instead of making your own electric motor, just buy them from Magna or someone else who's very good at that and use theirs. You'll be very happy with the results, but you're going to be paying the middleman. Do you want to pay the middleman? Can you afford to pay the middleman? So we recently saw, though, on the other side of this, GM let go 1,000 software engineers. And that came as a huge surprise to me. I didn't know they had any to let go in the first place. But how are you going to get all these things to work right if you don't have the competency in-house? If you have a bug to fix and you've got two different suppliers working on the software, and they're both going to point fingers at each other, and you're going to end up hiring a third consultant to figure out where the problem is and then to fix it. And now it's been 3 years. So they need to bring things in-house. When I asked Sandy Monroe, who's going to be the top 2 EV makers in 10 years, he said, without a doubt, Tesla and BYD. And part of the reason is they both have so many core competencies in-house.
And they've got scale, right? So once they've got scale, then it allows you to just widen this lead with everybody else losing money. The only comment about the 1,000 GM software developers is sometimes that's actually a good thing. Get rid of the fluff. The smaller teams could do much better than bigger teams. So I'm not going to say that that's actually a negative.
No, right? And really, I just wanted to make the joke that I couldn't believe they had software engineers. But no, it's when Volkswagen hired 10,000 software engineers to build their car software, that's the wrong number, guys. That's way too many.
Explain to me this next story, because I don't know anything about it, but it looks like here that Queensland's and Australia, right? Biggest battery to double in size after AGL signs virtual contract. Don't know what that means. The BESS will consist of 140 Tesla Megapack 2XL units and is expected to start operations 2026. Here's a photo of these Megapack factory that they're building. I guess it's more than that. Battery energy. What is BESS?
I think it's just battery electric storage system.
Right, exactly. So tell me what you know about this.
So as you'll recall, Australia was the first to do a large Megapack installation. Tesla had unveiled their Megapacks. They had shown them. They had even sold some. But when, let's see, which one was it? Western, I don't remember which state it was. But the big one they put in at the Hornsdale Power Reserve, they said, look, we don't trust Tesla to make it on the right time scale. So Tesla said 90 days or it's free. And they said, that's too good of a deal. We have to accept it. So they probably paid more than they would have from somebody else, because there's a very real chance that this whole thing's going to be free. And then 6 months later, they announce, looks like we may have already paid off this investment, the entire $100 million. We're going to double it. And so other provinces within Australia have since been adding their own territories, whatever you call it. I don't remember what they call them, have been adding them. And the one in Queensland is no exception. It was already a very big plant. It has been more or less under almost constant construction since the beginning, just adding more, and they just keep making it bigger. And this has really addressed a lot of problems with their grid, with intermittency. And these, $150 million here and there, you get into some real money pretty quick. You add the maintenance fees that stick around for the lifetime of the product. And now, of course, they're making all these with LFP, with lithium iron phosphate batteries, which have a much longer life cycle. They're going to be getting 20 years out of these batteries. And every day when they juice them up or juice them down, they're making money.
So this is a big project, a big energy department. The energy division for Tesla is successful. And every customer is coming back with ROI. They're showing that it works, it's showing that it's effective. That's double, double, double. So it's one of those things where it's just going to keep growing like crazy because it's proven it works. And it's a huge money saver. So this is going to be one of the biggest industries Tesla's ever going to get into. Bigger than the auto market, Tesla's already said. So yeah, thank you very much, Brian.
Of course.
Follow Brian on his YouTube channel, FutureAza. Check him out there. Talk to you soon, everybody. Bye. I've created a website that is the most comprehensive resource for the Tesla investor. Please check it out. Simply go to my website at herbertong.com.